So I am at this park today and I'm milking it for everything it's worth. And I'm talking about best travel experiences, worst travel experiences, people I'm never traveling with again. And I'm just having a good old time out here. When I get back home, I'll bombard myself with work. There's a lady out here who asked me to take her picture earlier, and I see her across the pond struggling, so I'm going to go over there and try and help her while I tell you about why Bermuda could easily have been my worst experience ever. So when I went to Bermuda, I was still like, I'm going to call myself a travel virgin, because even though I had gone to the UK and I had gone to Mexico and I think I'd gone to Puerto Rico, I was still new at it. And so I didn't have a lot of experiences. You're welcome. So Bermuda, I was a travel virgin and I booked my trip in May. And of course, I say it all the time, I'm a Gemini. My friend says, do you define yourself by being a Gemini? No, but I'm a Gemini. I know that we're very, how do I put it? We're very fickle, we're disorganized. We change our minds very often. And so I embrace it. I have to just make the best of it. But I made plans for my trip. I booked the flight, but I did not plan my hotel. This is something I do all the time. I never book vacations. I always book one and then book the other. And sometimes I take my time, too much time, booking the accommodations. So after I had my flight nicely booked, I was ready to look for a hotel. When I tell you I could find nothing in Bermuda for that weekend, I searched high and low. The most affordable hotel that I could find was $500 a night. I was a student at Lehman College. I could not afford $500 for the whole trip, let alone per night. So I was emailing people left, right, and center, all up and down Instagram. Airbnb, hotels.com, everywhere. Nobody had anything under $500. Then I found out I had booked my trip in the weekend of the America's Cup. I've never heard of it. Apparently it's yacht racing. It's where all the rich people converge on Bermuda and they race their yachts. I did not know anything about it, and there were no hotels left. So what did I do? I had a cousin who was living in Bermuda. He was back and forth between Bermuda and the UK. So I called him up. I'm like, hey, last ditch effort, between a rock and a hard place, can you help me? And so he said, okay, let me work on it for you. When I tell you it was midnight the night before my trip was, I think, the 17th or the 18th. It was midnight on the 17th that my friend and I finally got the call to say, hey, I found your place. We were on pins and needles because we booked non-refundable tickets with our student self or broke student selves. And so we couldn't cancel the ticket without losing our money. And so we figured we was going to go to Bermuda and sleep at a bus stop, because what else are we going to do, or sleep in the airport? We literally said we were going to sleep in the airport because we had no other option. And of course, I can rough it, so I would have done that. But I said we could probably be in the airport for the first day, and then after the race, then people would probably start leaving. We didn't know, but we were not able to cancel the ticket. So my cousin came through. My cousin came through in the night, nearly midnight, if not after midnight, to say that he found a friend who said we could stay at her place. And we said, okay, we will give her the Airbnb money. The Airbnb. We said we would give her the Airbnb. Why am I saying Airbnb? We said we would give her the Airbnb money, and she actually said, no, it's okay. So when Adrian Colley asked me about bad experiences, and I say, experiences are not necessarily bad, especially if you learn something from them, and especially if something great comes out of them. This is what I mean. She said, we were nervous. So us being nervous and terrified that we're going to lose our money could have made it a bad experience, or could have gotten it classified as a bad experience. But she came through in the night. She said we could stay, and she didn't want the money. And that was it. The worst part of being in Bermuda, though, was that, I don't know if it's common in Bermuda or where she lived, but we didn't have any water. We had to make do with the tiniest bit of water for showering. And I didn't even remember that until just now. That goes to show that for me, that's not a bad experience. It's an experience. That is something interesting that I can talk about to my grandkids. My sister's grandkids, because you go on an overseas trip, you barely have water to bathe, you barely have water to drink. We had to wash our face with our bottled water that we bought from the supermarket, and even that was at a premium because we paid like $5 for one 3-gallon bottle of water. I won't get into any more details of this. It's very graphic. But we made do, we survived, we came home, and I live to tell the story of how Bermuda could have been one of my worst experiences, and yet it was probably one of my most beautiful still. Thanks for watching.